First off, thank you for coming back. Yesterday was one hell of a day, right? You learned what an AI agent was, and we went through the core concepts or the core tangibles that define the word agency. And just to recap, those are behavior, tools, knowledge, and skills. We went into some level of depth into all four or five of these. We went into behavior. We understood how tools work, like checking your availability or sending some data to a Google Sheet or booking an appointment with you. We talked about when and when not to have a knowledge base, when things are complex versus simple. Simple case, you just add them to the behavior as a section. Complex, you have a full knowledge base. And we also spoke about skills as to how they work for different scenarios. For example, operating multiple tools or handling leads of different types and asking them questions and segmenting them. So we went through a lot. And on top of that, we deployed, again, this was all yesterday, how to make your AI agent live on Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, and your website if you have an existing one. Now, that was a lot. On top of that, I also walked you through the Second Brain OS CRM platform, which allows you to understand how to manage conversations from Instagram, WhatsApp, your website, and Telegram in a single unified inbox, allowing the AI to respond versus when not to allow it to respond, and you can take over as a human. All of that was covered yesterday. Now, if any of that sounds alien or unfamiliar to you, I strongly recommend you pause right now. Do not go forward. Do not rush things. Slow is controlled and controlled is fast. That's what one of my instructors has taught me, and I continue to live by it. Slow is controlled and controlled is fast. So, if any of that is unclear, unfamiliar, or alien in any way or form, go back to yesterday. Take your time. Do not rush it. And see how to do all those steps. Have the foundation of an AI agent, learn what that means, just the basics, not too much in depth, and also deploy your AI agent for the first time to Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, and your website. Ideally, all four, if not all four, at least two channels where your actual customers are coming or leads are coming from, or where you expect your future leads and customers to come from. For all businesses outside of the US, I recommend Instagram, WhatsApp, and website. For businesses inside the US, I recommend voice, Instagram, and website. So just something to keep in mind. Telegram, very few jurisdictions use them as their main place for leads and customers. So if that's you, then you can also do Telegram. With that, today is going to be a short one, a precise one, and focused on depth on one particular topic, the system prompt or the behavior of the AI, with the goal that we want it to be humanized and also use the tools when made available to it effectively and appropriately. Today is going to be more conceptual and theoretical. There's less hands on work to do. And at the end, I will give you a hack which will allow you to automate this whole process of building your system prompt. But it is best that you understand those, understand the, well, I'm not going to call it theory, understand the thinking behind it so that you can effectively optimize it. While, of course, you can use the entire system prompt along with the hack I give you, generate it from Claude or ChatGPT and just put it and get it up and running. It may not be as satisfactory if you don't know the nuts and bolts. And so today we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts. Now, the nuts and bolts of a proper system prompt that gets your AI to behave like a human are these. Number one is the business knowledge, and number two, sorry, 1A is business knowledge, and 1B are system variables. Now, business knowledge over here can be of two types: something that's repeatedly required from your business but doesn't change at all. Stuff like your office address or your in person service address, right? Stuff like the specialists on your team, right? Or even wider company knowledge. As long as it's small, shallow, and not changing for a long time, you can place that business knowledge here. However, the minute your business knowledge starts to become complex and vast and large, refund policies, I don't know, arrangements, shipping, freight, your team members keep changing often, your services keep updating, then you need a dedicated knowledge base. But as long as it's short and precise, you can put it here in one section. Now, after a lot of experience, what I've realized is working with clients that businesses that aren't complex, don't have very large websites, or don't have the intention of having very large websites, aren't frequently publishing blogs, newsletters, and a lot of content, the business knowledge can just be placed in the system prompt, and a dedicated separate knowledge base doesn't need to be spun up. Just letting you know, Today, we're not going too deep into business knowledge, and I'm also not giving you the tools to create a separate knowledge base separate from your system prompt. That, that kind of upgrade comes with three tools: add to my knowledge, search my knowledge, and delete my knowledge. And I'm not being greedy here, I'm being precise. And if you needed it today, I would have given it to you. But it comes way more in handy when you want to make a custom website. If you plan to have a large website with many pages and you want to write a lot and you'll be frequently publishing blogs and content and newsletters and going all out with organic. If you're planning to create a lot of content, then a separate knowledge base is well deserved. But if you have a service based business and your intention is to run just paid ads, drive people to a checkout or a form, and move things from there, you don't need a vast and separate and dedicated knowledge base. Long story short, start with placing your business knowledge here and then progress to adding a dedicated separate knowledge base. Then you can move it out from here. And then the AI can use that knowledge base by searching it on demand. That's for the future. For now, just focus on this. The next thing are system variables. If you're using them through the second brain OS, you probably don't need this. But if you're using the system prompt in ElevenLabs, you will need this. Now, over here, the system variables I have handpicked or cherry-picked for you are time zone, so that it knows the caller's time zone in ElevenLabs. The system time, it knows the exact time in that time zone at which the caller is calling. The caller ID, which is the number of the caller, and the amount of time it's been since the call started, right? And on top of that, you can add your business name, a short description of your business, location, operating hours, and a specific nationality or ethnicity that you want your AI to behave like. If you want it to have a certain accent, put it here. Be explicit, be honest about your preferences. Whatever it is, it's perfectly fine. The next part of humanizing your AI, the system prompt, is giving it personality. I've already written it down. I want to walk you through it. Now it says you are a, whatever name you want to give it, let's call her Riley for now, a warm, efficient virtual receptionist. You use the fewest words possible needed to communicate a response. Order of things, specialist or service first, like find the specialist service in my team. Availability and pricing second, and then booking. And then after that, you very frequently use natural filler words such as like, kind of, I mean, basically, let me see, okay, okay, sure, why not, honestly, how do I put this, I guess, oh, how do I say this? And use multiple of those in every response. Slow down slightly when using a filler word. I promise you, this is not AI generated. I wrote it by hand and as a function of experience. And I want you to have the same nuts and bolts to be able to do the exact same thing for your business, right? Now, these filler words, as when we use them as a human, we actually pause a little bit. You notice me right now as I'm talking to you. The minute I say, okay, let me think about it, and I pause for a second. All of these filler words take the same shape as, okay, let me think about it. The minute someone says, they're pausing. So this is just something to keep in mind. The next thing in the personality I've added, before every response, decide the filler words and emotional expressions you want to add. Be generous with them, filler words by category. I know I have made it a bit more calculated than I should, but it really forces it to think like a human or, let's be honest, behave like a human. Because by giving it an elaborate list of filler words for across different categories like hesitation, hedging and softening, stalling, I don't know, repetition, whatever, it can actually think before each response what words I should use to sound more human and more human, right? So that's a bit about the personality. Of course, you are free to tweak this, shorten this, add, remove, whatever, make it less friendly, more friendly, reduce the emphasis on filler words, whatever you like, that's your preference. You can make it more straightforward for, if that's your preference. So that's personality. The next thing is the etiquettes and tool use. Now, etiquettes, this you should keep constant. You don't need to tweak this, which is basically never interrupt. Let people finish speaking even if they're mid sentence. If someone interrupts you, you stop talking immediately and let them speak. You are being watched. The key thing here is this strict rule to follow. And the reason I say you are being watched with the AI is so that it's conscious that it actually cannot skip this instruction, right? Now, tool use, a topic of its own, and we'll cover this tomorrow if you've purchased the upsell. Over here in etiquettes and tool use, what we are essentially doing is telling it these are the tools available to you, like book an appointment, create an appointment, sorry, check my availability, book an appointment, search existing appointments for a prospect, cancel an existing appointment for a prospect, reschedule an existing appointment for a prospect, put some data into a Google Sheet, and giving it specifics of how to use those tools as per the requirement of our business. If you're putting data into Google Sheets, you will have to specify here's the data I need. I need the name, email, phone, what kind of business they have, if they have a website, the website link, etc., etc. The AI can't figure that out for itself. So you need to tell it, here's the tool, here's how to use it. Other things, sure, it can pull through a tool like check your availability and book meetings for you, but it needs to be told, here are the kind of people I don't want you to book meetings with. For example, in my particular case, I strictly tell the AI, please, if there's an e-commerce business, don't tell them anything. Just tell them, I offer this, but I particularly don't focus on e-commerce. I can take a paid consult, but just know it will be advisory and not implementation, right? So those are the kind of things you need to tell the AI, which let it know how to conduct a certain operation as per your preference. Conducting an operation requires tools, and you need to state your preferences as to how and when to use those tools. That's the etiquettes and tool use. Then we have tone and environment, right? Again, this one, there's a more elaborate version, and hopefully you will have that. It has variation as per the environment or the specific channel on which the lead is talking to it, right? So callers do expect a lot of filler words, but then people WhatsApping and Instagramming don't expect as many filler words. They might find it a little bit artificial. So a better version of this I've given, which describes the environment by channel. Here's how to here's how to work things on WhatsApp, here's how to work things on Instagram, here's how to work things on your website, and here's how to work things on call. So that's a bit about the tone environment, right? And so over here, the call version is in front of you, but when you get it, you will actually have all the other parts as well. The next and the second last part are tone and speech style. This predominantly is reinforcing things that have already been set to it, but then also giving it specifics. For example, read phone numbers by digit, pronouncing special characters when required. Read emails as specific name at specific domain.com. Say prices naturally, $350. Expand symbols, say percent instead of percent. When pronouncing the user's name, spell it out letter by letter. Confirm the user's email spelling, and after they give you their email, infer their name from their email. If you can guess someone's name from their email, no need to ask them twice, right? Be conversational and natural, warm but professional, use short sentences, maintain steady conversational pacing, right? And so it's reinforcing a lot of the things we've already talked about, but then they need to be said again, and specifics and nuances need to be highlighted. Now, the last part of the system prompt is, well, bringing it all together. Now, once you understand these parts, and again, there's no need to go too deep into the theory. You just need to read this and it will make intuitive sense to you. I will give you the entire full prompt. You copy that into ChatGPT or Claude, ask it to adjust it as per your preferences. I've already told it, ask the person who's giving you this prompt, ask them a handful of questions. For example, what do you want the AI receptionist or AI agent's name to be? What's your business? Where do you operate from? Do you have a physical location? If that location is there, give me the location. What are your operating hours like? Okay, do you want it to be warm, straightforward? I've already given the instructions, so you can copy that and it will give you back the final system prompt. Once you have that, what you want to do is go into your second brain OS dashboard and update that system prompt by pasting it here and saving it. That's all you need to do. Paste it and save it, and your AI agent will be updated and it will be more humanized, right? Similarly, what you also need to do is go into ElevenLabs, find your agent. I hope you remember where that is. Let me just confirm where mine is. I think it's the other one. Here it is. Yes. And go into agent and also paste the system prompt here. And remember to press publish. It's very easy to miss this in ElevenLabs, but just remember to press publish. And you'll also be able to see the difference, like the diff, we call it the diff in our programming world. You'll be able to see what has changed since your last prompt. For example, the last prompt was you are a helpful assistant. And of course, a lot has changed since then, right? And you can press publish. And once you press publish, the agent will be live on, and anyone who calls it, anyone who speaks to it will get the humanized version of the AI agent. So that's really all for today. Today was pretty much focused on getting the nuts and bolts of the humanizer prompt. Again, I've given you a Google Doc. If you don't have it, check your email, search for humaniser prompt, search for my email, which is newsletter@umairkamil.com. If you've purchased it, it will come through. If you've not purchased it, please don't email me. Instead, just buy it. I've made it very cost effective. It's very cheap. Now that you understand all the nuts and bolts, there are two ways to generating the humanizer prompt for the entire system prompt for your second brain OS AI agent or WhatsApp, Instagram, and web, and your ElevenLabs voice agent. Two ways to generate it, right? Way one, not so smart. Way one is just take this full thing that is mentioned within this blog. These are the set of instructions for the for Claude or ChatGPT to ask you certain questions and then generate the full system prompt for you. Along with that, once you copy this, you will also have to go into your email and find the AI Receptionist voice and web humanizer prompts, this Google Doc that I will have shared with you, and copy all of this and also paste that in the next message into Claude or ChatGPT and then let them work away their magic. This is the not so smart way of doing things because uh, either you'll need to be on a better plan with Cloud Chat GPT or you'll run into a limit or have to do it piece by piece, like split by split. So I've given 5 splits in this document. Let me just show you. Split 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so you might have to place each of these splits one by one in the conversation with ChatGPT or Claude, right? Now, the smart way, this one is only for those of you that watched the other bonus, which was using Claude Code. For those of you who remember, all you have to do is type in Claude and you will be inside of Claude Code. Now here, it should already be connected to your second brain OS MCP, second brain OS account, but you can do /MCP and see that the second brain OS is connected. If not, you can go here and press reconnect. Next thing you want to do start, and this will start the second brain OS. First, let me do customer facing, and then I'm just gonna say skip logging and skip my personal stuff. That's specific to me. You don't have to type that. You just need to type this thing. I just need help in generating in generating and generating my customer facing AI agents system prompt and for you to update it from right here. And I'll say there's a purpose-built workflow for this. It already has it. It's gonna be hands off, and it's just gonna try to get my company details. And it says, here's where you stand, here's the tools available, and what does the agent front, what it's selling. And once you have that, what you wanna do is you just wanna go and get that Google Doc file and download it as Markdown. And you can just download that your downloads folder, then head to your downloads folder. Let me just go into my downloads folder and we go to desktop, come on, shift G, downloads. And from here, what you want to do is copy the path. You can right click and you can copy path. If you can't find the option to copy path, what you can do is in Mac, Command Option C, and this will copy the path of the file, or you can drag it into Cloud Code and you can paste it here and be like, here's here is the full system prompt, and let me know what questions you have. And from here, it can answer all those questions. It will first ask for permission to read that file, and then it will obviously flag that this is a template for the humanizer skeleton, etc. Here's what I need, non-blocking. I need the business knowledge block, name, one-line description, etc., etc. And then it can ask you, you can answer these questions and it will generate the full prompt. And after it's done the generation, it will update your AI agent from right here without you having to go into the second brain OS. It will just do that update for you, right? Once that update's done, and just check that your system prompt is reflective of the update that it's made. It will be very lengthy because when Claude does a job, it does a good job, especially with the skills I've given it, to make you a very comprehensive system prompt, right? Once you're done with that, what you want to do is go to the bottom here and it says deploy to 11 labs. Copy the system prompt from here, makes your life easy. And then you can go into ElevenLabs, where into your agent. If you don't recall, that was you go into your workspace. From here, you need to make sure that you're in 11 agents. From here, select your specific AI agent and then go into agent. And then here's the system prompt and then Command A and Command V. Make sure that when you paste this, you do end up publishing. When you publish, you will also see what changes have been made to the system prompt since, and then you can finally hit publish and you are done. This is the hands-free and easy way to actually, how should I say, uh, build out your complete humanized system prompt hands-free, wire it to your second brain OS agent, which powers your WhatsApp, Instagram, and web, and then just copy that over to 11 Labs. That's it. Super, super simple. That's all it takes to humanize the AI. It's not that difficult. You can come back to it, spend more time, but just do yourself a favor, not me, do yourself a favor. Do that after you actually take your AI receptionist to market, which means once you have an actual handful of conversations, right? And then tweak it more and more. Don't start tweaking it based on a few interactions with friends and family, people who are actually not your customers. I want to be strict here. If someone is your parent, your sibling, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your kid, whatever, if they are not your customer, do not test with them. It's just you wasting your time and annoying them. I have done this, I have been guilty of this. People would get annoyed at me because I'd be like, oh, I've made this cool thing. You want to try it out? You want to try it out? And I realized while it was cool, it was really annoying for those people because it wasn't relevant to them and they weren't my customers. So take it to people who are actually your real leads and real customers. Test with them. Simplest thing you can do, run a $50 a day ad for 2 days, 3 days. You will have the answer. You will know with actual substance and actual data as to what tweaks you need to make to the AI agent as opposed to ballparking it, guessing it, or annoying your friends and family. So take that advice. It's not free, by the way, because you paid for this advice. Take it and follow it. Execute it and tweak your system prompt when you have the real data on the table. With that, all the best. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is about getting your AI agent to use tools and get good at checking your availability, booking appointments with you, and rescheduling, canceling. Overall, just a lot about tools related to your calendar. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.